Yo, guys, it's the kid, 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 it's the kid. We are live. Many several things on the agenda. I mean, you may be viewing certain things that have been put in there, which is, of course, we're going to talk about Brazil, Venezuela, post-match analysis, a bit on the Copa America, James Rodriguez to Napoli, the Neymar Barcelona deal, the issue with Ligt, but special needs have already arrived as well. The Hummels going back to flipping Dortmund. That's a huge thing. So obviously, like I put out the news thing before that Hummels news dropped. So again, we will get through. So there's a lot to get through in this topic, So again, if any other news drops or anything comes to mind, I will bring them in. But our main port of call is Copa America, reaction to the Brazil Venezuela, look ahead to the Copa America games, James Rodriguez to Napoli, the Neymar deal back to Barcelona, the issue of flipping Matthias and Ligt and Hummels on his move back to Dortmund. So that is on the agenda. So remember, guys, welcome to the chat room. Welcome to the Football Hot live show. I will be trying to make this a daily, nightly thing. And remember, if you want to support the channel, support your boy, get your question ready, have a shout out, use the super chat. The super chat is how I'll be able to get your question ready 100%. And it's also a way of supporting me and the channel and the Football Hot. So without further ado, okay, let me put some water in my thingy, man, because I am flipping thirsty. Let's talk about Brazil and Venezuela, because I want to talk about the game and I want to also talk about Brazil, the country and the nation. So those are the different things I want to talk about. Actually, before we roll in there, let me just give you a little bit of background stuff. So let's see, what's this right here? Patreon. Remember, guys, join the Patreon stuff out there. This is a season review, club season review on Man City that is right now on the Patreon platform. And also retrospective on the Copa America 2015 final between Chile and Argentina. Look back at that. That was a huge thing. So those are the things on the Patreon platform, and I'll be posting new things on the blog, on the Lens features, and also different insights, club season reviews as well. So, and also as well, let me even pump that in as well. The shop. Get yourselves a nice tee. The Half of Football Hot t-shirts, merch, and all that stuff is nicely available there for you guys to get. So let's just get back to the issue. Brazil against Venezuela. So I watched the game. Do you know what strikes me as really odd? I don't get paid to be a manager. All I am is just a analyst, Of course, the number one analyst out there. So all I do is be a humble man. That's all I can be is a humble man. So, Tite, you saw the first half of Brazil in the first game against Bolivia, where it was obvious that despite their best efforts, Neres, Richarlison, and Firmino, it didn't work. It didn't work. It was bitsy. It was all over the place. It didn't work. And they got to boot at halftime. You're playing a better team than Bolivia in the second game. What made you think that, miraculously, they'll just click and they'll just do well? What made you think that they'd just somehow do better and do well in the second game? Based on what? So, it didn't make any sense that he went with that same front three, which simply doesn't work. That front three just simply doesn't work. It just didn't make any sense. And then he obviously brought in Jesus, he brought in Everton and so forth. And even if it didn't look great, it definitely looked better. I think for Venezuela, they knew that they couldn't beat Brazil and they were definitely looking for a draw. Maybe for some extras, but the main thing they were looking for was a draw. That was the main thing that they were looking for. And credit to them is you can never hate on inferior teams going to look for a draw. So what? They should go and try to beat Brazil in Brazil? No. So it's up to Brazil to break them down. And the reality of the matter is this: this isn't a great Brazil team. There is not one single superstar on this team. The greatest indictment of this team is the fact that Everton has been Brazil's best player. Everton has been Brazil's best flipping player. That's been the reality. So Coutinho for me hasn't really shown up. Firmino, Richarlison, Jesus a few flashes. David Neres, not been good. And I was a big fan of David Neres, and my thing about this is that I think that Neres is actually playing I think him being played out on the flank is wrong. If it's me, and again I don't get paid for this, but if it was me as the manager, the front three from Brazil should be Richarlison as the main striker, Jesus in behind him, and those are your two strikers. And you now have maybe you play a diamond. You play the 4-4-2 because remember Brazil have really always primarily played a diamond, but it's a very fluid diamond. So you have the front two as Richarlison and Jesus, and in the diamond you have what's them? You have Everton, Coutinho, maybe Fernandinho, and then Arthur. That's what you roll with. That's what you roll with. You roll with that diamond, and then you roll with that front two, because the way this is working, it's not rolling through because the 4-3-3. So that was maybe it's Casemiro or something, but Fernandinho has actually been probably a better midfielder and better performer than Thingy. Really, Fabinho should actually be in the team, but what you're having here is that it's like even if I give it that for formation, guys, name me a single superstar in this Brazil team. Name me a single superstar in this Brazil team. Yes, they still do their different Brazil things and so forth, and you can see a few flashes of brilliance here and there. But guys, man, there is no sex in this team. There's no sex in this team. There's no true quality in this team. And when I was looking at this, I'm like, bruh. That's why this morning I had to watch highlights of Ronaldo Romario. Guys, by the way, guys, if you want to see intelligent football, I just got done watching the Maradona doc. Don't worry, the review's coming soon. If you want an ABC in smart football, it is Romario. Please. If you're a boarding football player and let's say you don't have the speed or the strength and you want to learn to know how to be effective without speed or strength, watch Romario. Watch Romario. Probably one of the most intelligent footballers of all time. But then when I look at this Brazil team, because Brazil, whether it was Pele, Rivelino, Garrincha, Zico, Socrates, Romario, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, to a lesser extent Kaká, Brazil have always had that superstar. If you're telling me that Brazil's superstar is Coutinho, you're having a laugh. You're having a laugh. Even if that we now have to rely on Coutinho, you're having a laugh, because this is what I was saying in my preview when we did it with the when we did it with the banter people, and the issue was I was trying to explain that Brazil are a team that need a superstar. They need a superstar. Without a superstar, this Brazil team can't ride. Brazil can't win or be successful just playing solely as a team. Italy plays as a team. Germany plays as a team. Brazil have to have that superstar player. Brazil have to have a superstar player, and currently they just do not have that superstar player. Don't open your mouth and tell me Coutinho is a superstar. Coutinho is not a superstar. He's not. He can be a very good player. He can be a very good player. Coutinho can't carry a team. He can't carry a team, because that match was looking for inspiration. But the sickest thing, guys, the only player I think that Brazil can rely upon to make something happen is a dude called Everton. I've never heard of this dude. A dude named after a football club is the main superstar for Brazil. Has this where we've come? Where Everton is now the guy that Brazil have to be relied upon? And it's true. It's true. Once Everton came on, Brazil looked more likely to score, and they played with a lot more energy, and they played one more forceful. So unless Tite is brainless, he has to start Everton in the next game. He would be truly fake if he goes again with the same front three, thinking that front three will make it through. Because then if he does that, then I know that you're just stupid. You're not even stubborn. You're just plain stupid. So, looking at that, man, guys, that team is winning this Copa America. That team is going to get taken out by either Colombia or Uruguay. Guys, or probably even Chile. Probably even Chile. Like, that team, I don't think has the balls, all the character, all the individual skill to win this Copa America. So, as I predicted, Brazil won't win this Copa America on a home soil, which will be very painful. Which will be very, very, very painful. But maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe somebody will be able to rise through and make something happen. But from what I saw there, sorry, bro, it didn't happening. And as for, because we're not Argentina are playing tonight. Argentina playing Paraguay. I think it's going to be a draw. I believe Colombia will probably beat Qatar. I think they'll probably beat Qatar, probably 1-0, but that's going to be a very entertaining game. I'm not sure. Mark my words, Argentina are not making it through this group. Argentina are not going to make it through this group. That's my call there. So, but of where things stands, I think Uruguay are looking very good. Uruguay are looking very healthy, and I think Uruguay are in almost prime position to take this. I think a great final. I don't know how things go, but I think a great final would be. A Uruguay Colombia would be a great final, or even a Uruguay Chile, because this, even if Chile played a very inexperienced Japanese side, Chile look alright. I don't believe Chile will win it. I think that team is still too old. I definitely think that team is too old. I think the Uruguay team is too old as well. But bro, I'm not using any reverse psychology, bro. I'm not. And yes, Maradona took a crack. And so let's get down to our transfer news discussions right now. Because that's all there for Brazil. So Brazil. So their final game is against Peru. That's going to be a very, very tough game. And look, they can't win it. But again, just for the sake of arguments, you have to start Everton. Richarlison, Jesus should be the front two. I don't think Firmino is being effective. David Neres has been pretty bad. You can argue he's been played out of position, but I just think he's been also pretty ineffective as well. So I think if you roll with that, I think that is the best way for Brazil to roll through. So let's go to our first item. And our first item is... Have you heard of the word humble? Have you heard of the word humble? Humble pie. Who's ever had humble pie before? I just want to know. Whoever has eaten humble pie. Humble pie, it tastes a bit creamy. But the thing about humble pie is put it in the oven for about 15 minutes, wait for it to be slightly brown. And once you actually eat humble pie, it's pretty good, but don't really overdo on humble pie, because if you eat too much humble pie, you can actually get a tummy ache. So also remember, humble pie, don't eat it like late at night. For me, my recommendation is 6 to 7 p.m. That's when you should really ride with humble pie. If Neymar returns back to Barcelona with Messi still around, Neymar can't walk around in the same way. It is confirmation that we are now seeing a completely and totally different Neymar. a completely and totally different Neymar. Because there is now word that Neymar apparently is trying to plot a return to Barcelona. And there are perhaps deals in place that can bring him back to Barcelona. And if this was to happen, it would be not one, the biggest 180 that football has ever seen. The biggest 180 that football has ever seen. So if you're Neymar, and I think, see, I came to the admission of this because again, let me just remind people about the whole trajectory. I was in support of Neymar leaving Barcelona because I believed in Neymar's talents. I still believe in Neymar's talents, but you have to prove it on the pitch. But because I was a believer in Neymar's talents, I say someone that's talented, that's good, who is destined to be the next man, he needs to have his own club. Because the idea was Neymar goes to Barcelona and he is eased into being the superstar of the team. But what Neymar didn't really account for was Messi would still be playing at a very high level still. The idea was Messi would slowly be declining. Neymar will slowly be improving, and Neymar would therefore have to take greater reins of the club with Messi playing a side role based on his age. But Messi's a freak. He's a freak of nature, he's an alien, and he's incredibly consistent. He still didn't touch Maradona, bro. So after I watched that documentary, guys, bro, when I released my review of the documentary, I have tripled down on don't even mention Messi's name in the same category as Ronaldo. Don't do it, okay? He can't be mentioned in the same breath as Armando. Don't. So that was the idea. But Messi was still the dude. He was still quality. He was still riding. And Neymar was like, look, man, I can't operate in this category as a sideshow. I need to be the star. The whole point was, you're Messi. You are ushering me to be the star. But Messi was like, no. I'm still head honcho. I'm still the superstar. So the idea was, okay, Neymar, you move to PSG. You become the star. You win the Champions League. Because the story goes, Neymar, he wins the Champions League. He makes PSG a European force. It opens up Europe. It opens up things because you now have PSG is a force. Barcelona is a force. Liverpool is a force. Real Madrid is a force. So you now have PSG is now a major player. That was the idea. PSG is a major player spearheaded by Neymar with Mbappe as the co-pilot. But you can say injuries and everything that didn't happen. And guys, let me speak on the injuries. Because people said, oh no, it's not Neymar's fault that he wasn't there for pitch because he got injured. Do you know why Neymar gets injured? Because he's showboating. And by showboating, you piss off the opposition. And the opposition are going to try to break your legs because they don't like you showboating. And the only way that you can showboat is because of how badly you're beating the opposition. Comprende? So, by you showboating is because of how badly you're beating the opposition, based on just how much better PSG are better than anyone in the French league. In La Liga, you can't showboat because you're never in the position where you're totally destroying the opposition in the way that you are at PSG. Because Barcelona still get that ass, and La Liga they still do, but not in the way that PSG do. Not in the same way. The La Liga is far more competitive than Liga if you're PSG. So for Neymar, in a way, it is your fault that you're getting injured because of the league that you went to, the team that you went to, and because you're showboating that guys will try to break your legs. So that's just the reality of the matter there. So my thing is this. So Neymar going back to Barcelona, you're going to have to be the sideshow now. And by doing that, your character changes. You can't be the prima donna. You can't be the superstar. You can't be that celebrity. You can't be the show off because this is Barcelona. This is Messi's Barcelona. And in Messi's Barcelona, there is a level of professionalism that is expected. Well, obviously, that's what PSG wants now, but there is a level of professionalism expected. Oh yeah, I'm going to get to Luis Enrique, of course, about him stepping down. I will get to that. So in that sense, it's like, boom. And let's just, so if Neymar was to go back to, see, if I'm advising for Neymar, I would advise Real Madrid. I'd advise Real Madrid because I personally, because just me being the football fan, I want to see Neymar versus your boy. Yeah, basically, I want to see Neymar versus Messi in an El Clasico. Simple as that. I want to see Neymar versus, I'm thinking in an El Clasico. That's what I want to see. So that's how I want to ride. That's how I want to ride. I want to see him in an El Clasico. Because a Neymar versus Messi El Clasico has the potential to be one of the biggest club games of all time. It's real talk. I'll tell you right now, if you have an El Clasico with Neymar and Hazard on one side, and the Us and Messi on the other side, that has the potential of breaking all the records for any club game. Any club game in history. That would be huge. That would be flipping and damn huge. So that's how we're gonna roll. But Neymar going back to Barcelona, you're gonna have to be Messi's sideshow. You're gonna have to be his side piece, and that's just gonna be the role that you're gonna have to accept. That's gonna be the role that you're gonna have to accept. So people have been mentioning Neymar in the Premier League. For me, cool. Although Neymar at Man City, that's unfair because Man City have already won the league. If let's say Neymar was to rock but at a Liverpool or a Man United, he ain't going to. No one's going to Man United. No offense to United, but bro, Neymar's not going to Man United. Like, Man United are a whole beast that needs to be changed. But no, if Neymar goes to the Premier League, cool. But it's between two clubs. It's between two clubs. It is between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Those are the only two clubs that it's between. Real Madrid and Barcelona. And that's it. Like, there's nothing more needs to be said. It is only between those two flipping clubs. So, and if Neymar, okay, let's say, guys, do you know what the perfect, this is my perfect world. This is my perfect world. WH's perfect world, and we'll move on from this topic. It won't happen. This is my utopia. Neymar and Messi at Barcelona. Hazard and Mbappe in Real Madrid. If that happens, that first El Clasico will be the most watched club football game of all time. Mark my flipping words. All right, so next on the agenda, let's write it up here, is James Rodriguez. So we have what this is, guys. You know, your boy HH with the new tech, man. Your boy James Rodriguez. Let me roll an Eminem in there. Napoli. Now, I thought that Real Madrid had sold James to Bayern Munich. But the report that I read was they said the Real Madrid loanee would be moving to Napoli. Which is like, oh wow, so he still hasn't been sold. This is really, really interesting. This is a really, really interesting move. James Rodriguez is, ever since I saw this dude in 2014, I said, This is a quality player, and this guy is arguably, all things considered, Colombia's best ever player. As far as talent goes, technical talent goes, Colombia's most gifted player. But you need to find the right system. If you're the most gifted player, you need to find the right system. So, with James at Real Madrid, he was played out of position. James at Bayern Munich, aging team. I'm not coming up with excuses. You still have to be a big time, but these are footballing facts. Out of position at Real Madrid, aging team in Bayern Munich that perhaps played a bit too slow. Colombia, how did they play? Attacking, fast, vibrant, energetic. In Napoli, not precisely the same system as so Napoli not having the same system as Colombia, but it is similar enough. And we look at how Napoli play, how they break, their spacing, and how they move the ball around. And I'm thinking of how he could combine with a Mertens, a Milik, and so forth. I think this if Ancelotti can just fit in well, he may need a few more buys. I think this could be the kind of purchase that really gives Napoli that nice lift, that huge lift. Is it a transfer that leads to them winning the Serie A? No, but it gives them a greater chance. And I think that this is perhaps, because if it doesn't work out for James Rodriguez at Napoli, I don't think this is his last hurrah. If it doesn't work out for James at Napoli, then you know what, your club career didn't really go anywhere. So I think James needs to make this work, and I think that it's not a dead set that it's going to work. It is not completely total that it will work, but I think there is definitely at least a strong chance of it working. There's at least a strong chance of it working. Actually, let me roll this in there. There's a strong chance of it working. So, because I think Serie A is going to be very interesting next season. Obviously, Sarri going to Juve, Conte at Inter Milan, so Ancelotti at Napoli, and I think with James Rodriguez going in there, because remember you have your boy Insigne. So you have Insigne on one flank, Mertens on another flank, Milik as your striker, and James Rodriguez as your number 10. That's great. Napoli don't have a number 10. Napoli don't have a central creative player. Remember what I said about Liverpool. Now, if Liverpool had a James Rodriguez, that makes things very interesting. That makes things very, very interesting. If they had a James Rodriguez, that makes things fully 100% interesting. That makes things fully 100% interesting. Remember, guys, I will try and take some questions at the end, but if you definitely want a question right, because there are loads of comments going through, use the super chats. The super chats, I will 100% be able to get to your question. Because again, I can't read I can't answer all the questions and everything. So use the super chat, and that is how I will be able to 100% answer your question. So back to flipping James. Liverpool should have gone for James. If Liverpool had James Rodriguez, that's the player that they're missing. So for James Rodriguez at Napoli now, it doesn't mean they're now the team to be fed. It doesn't mean this is the player that will now make them win the league. But it's a play they don't have. It's a role they don't have. We know what James Rodriguez is capable of doing. I'm sorry, that boy we saw in 2014, and even that boy that we saw in 2018 is a highly creative player. Can execute beautifully a through ball. Great distribution, great mind. Can spot a pass from several 45, 50 yards away. Look at that pass that he gave to Martinez for the first goal against Argentina. We know of his creative abilities, and we know that he can also get a G as well. His role, his role is the number 10. Central number 10 position. He's not a wide man. He's a number 10 position. A number 10 position in an attacking, offensive, quick counter-attacking team. So if Ancelotti can tweak the system to fit the pace and the speed that James Rodriguez can ride with, let's talk cheddar. Let's talk cheddar. So I am very excited to see James Rodriguez at Napoli, to see how it works out, and I am a fan of his. I really really loved how he burst onto the scene, and as a football fan, I hope that it works out for him, and I think it would be of benefit for the Serie if you have James Rodriguez bowling out for Napoli. Because if you have James Rodriguez bowling out for Napoli, that's great competition for Juventus, and another team that Juventus would not have to cope with. So next on the agenda, your boy Ligt. I'm bored. Bro, you're 90. I get that you had a great Champions League run. I get that. I fully accept that you had a great Champions League run. I get that. But can you please decide where you want to go? Simple as that. Can you just please decide where the hell you want to go? Is he staying? Is he going? Is he going? Is he staying? Where's he gonna go? This, that. He's rejected Barcelona. Oh, he's going to PSG. Bro, you know what? This is gonna be the last time I'm gonna talk about the Ligt. The only time I'm going to talk about Ligt again is when he has officially signed for a club. Officially signed for a flipping club. Oh, what? It's Delight. Look, I'm calling him the Ligt, and I think it's actually the Ligt. So until he fully signs for a club, I'm not talking about flipping the Ligt anymore, because, bro, choose. Now, people say that he's chasing cash, he's chasing money and everything. Now, if it's down to me, I don't know what the hell he's chasing. If it's down to me and I say, okay, where should he go? Bayern Munich, Barcelona, or PSG. So if I'm the Ligt or I'm advising the Ligt, which would be the best place for a potentially great defender in a Ligt to go? If Neymar is gonna go to if the Neymar is gonna go to Barcelona, because my fear for Barcelona has always been, what is life going to be like if when Messi leaves? And my fear for Barcelona is that, are these guys going to completely and totally decline when Messi leaves? But if Neymar goes back to Barcelona, then I think a Ligt Umtiti partnership would be great. How old is Umtiti now? How old is Umtiti now? Because I think that could now be your future defensive pairing for the next 4 or 5 seasons, and you'll have the remnants of Messi, but then you'll then have a Neymar that's rolling through. So yeah, 25, 26. Oh, I mean, as a defender, that's young. That's young, because you probably hit your peak as a defender when you're 31, 32, 30, 33. So by having that, so if you roll with that, I think that is what I would advise the Leeds to do. Go to Barcelona. Partner up with Umtiti. It's a club of heritage. But the key thing is, you only move if Neymar moves back. If Neymar doesn't move back to Barcelona and it's Messi, there is the fear of what is a post-Messi world going to look like. So if Neymar doesn't move back to Barcelona, then I would strongly consider Bayern Munich. Because we know how well run Bayern Munich are. They're always a very well run club. And I'll say, you know what? Consider Bayern Munich. PSG is not the right move. If you're chasing cash, if this is purely about money, this is purely about cash, okay then, bro. Then just go to PSG, you know. But for someone like Matis de Ligt, you know, remember, you're only 19 years old. And this is my advice to him. You're 19, you're young. How many players have we seen who've been young prodigies who've ended up just nowhere? So the key thing is, if you're a young player, it is about continuous improvement, and then you have to go to an environment where you are continually improving. You have to. If you're not in an environment where you're continually improving, you know, then I can't help you. I can't help you. So you have to go to an environment where you're always continually flipping improving. PSG, you're not going to continually improve beating guys 7-0, 8-0, where you're not actually doing any defending. Um, that's my thing. So if Neymar does go to Barcelona, my advice would be so if Neymar does go to Barcelona, my advice would be Bayern Munich. If Neymar goes to Barcelona, go to Barcelona, and then you can then partner up with your boy Umtiti. And guys, let's be real. We know he has the skills and the ability. For someone so young, it is amazing. It is actually quite amazing how assured he is as a defender. It's amazing to see how assured he is as a defender. But guys, hype. Remember Freddie Adu? How many of you guys remember Freddie Adu? Wasn't he supposed to be the next Pele? Remember a dude called Wayne Rooney? I was told that Wayne Rooney was a white Pele. That's what I was told. I was told, and I was assured that Wayne Rooney was the white Pele. That's what I was told. So let's not overstep things. Let's not just go over the hill here. Bro, I actually do remember that. I do remember that people were actually saying that Adu was actually better than Messi. No, people said Adu was the next Pele. That's what they said. And yeah, I remember at the point people said no, Adu would end up being greater than Messi. That's what people said. Because remember, Adu and Messi were, I think they're around the same age now. So, oh yeah, so no, oh, bro, you bring it up. Juventus is a possible destination. Yeah, I mean, if we bring Juventus into the mix for the elite, then that's another good place to go. But even if you put Juventus in the mix, but if Neymar goes back to Barcelona, Barcelona is the place to go, because you are assured to still be competitive when Messi leaves. And it's Barcelona. And I think with the way that De Ligt plays and how good he's on the ball and with that Barcelona play, it will suit the type of a defender that he is. The type of a defender that De Ligt is, does it really suit Juventus? Does it suit Bayern Munich? Maybe. The way he's, because really this guy is good on the ball. This guy can bring the ball up very well. This guy is very good at distribution. They really encourage the defenders to play at Barcelona, so I think that will be a good place to go. So, before we get to our last topic, so thank you for the super chats, $2 super chats from the man behind the mind, who says, HH, how do you feel about Lampard at Chelsea now? Okay, I like this. Before we get to all things, I like this now. So I put out a tweet, Mr. Man behind the mind. Thank you for the super chat. So I put out a tweet where I said that Lampard at Chelsea is a bad move. Lampard shouldn't go at Chelsea. It's a bad move. And a whole host of Chelsea fans came at me. They said, Lampard is great. He'll do amazing. We'll support Lampard. He will bring the fans back on side. He will really galvanize everybody. He's the right man for the club. He's a legend for the club and so forth. We'll love him. He'll do great. And I was like, do you want to live in a fantasy or do you want to live in reality? Choose. It's as simple as that. Do you want to live in reality or do you want to live in a fantasy? If you want to live in a fantasy, oh my gosh, hire Lampard. He's a Chelsea legend. People will love him. He'll have all the support in the world. The youngsters will love him, and Abramovich will support him because, of course, he's a Chelsea legend. That's the dream. I live in the real world, and the reality is this: Lampard hasn't yet earned his stripes yet. Lampard hasn't yet proven that he's a top manager yet. That's the first point. Second point is because, see, people will say Guardiola didn't prove that he was a great manager before he took over Barcelona. All he proved was, oh yeah, he was pretty good coaching the B team. He wasn't proven. That's Barcelona. And Guardiola was tutored by one of the greatest football minds of all time in Cruyff. And Guardiola was coming into a Barcelona team with a greater football history than Chelsea. And he just so happened to have the greatest club football player of all time. And he also so happened to have one of the best midfielders of his generation in Xavi. Lampard ain't going to have that. And Lampard, you're going into a Chelsea team with a transfer ban, a bunch of youngsters, and in the most competitive league in the world. So, how are you setting him up to succeed? That's what I want to know. How are you setting this guy up to succeed? Because you're not. You're not setting him up to succeed. You're not setting him up to flipping succeed. Because the Roman Abramovich is volatile. Abramovich is volatile. I'm sorry, that's just me being real. Abramovich is a volatile manager. Abramovich is going to give Lampard more time because he's a legend. So if Chelsea end up being trophyless season after season, he will just give Lampard 5-6 years. It's like, you don't know who Roman Abramovich is, man. Okay? You don't know how this guy rolls. You don't know how Roman Abramovich rolls. So for me, I think that for Lampard, he needs to wait. His time will come. But I think the situation that Chelsea are in now, with the transfer ban, not having a Hazard, not having a truly bona fide superstar in the team, is not the right environment for Lampard. I think Lampard has to come into the team where they can make transfers and there's at least one true superstar in the team. Then that is the perfect way to go. Because yes, Guardiola was hugely so successful. He had Messi in that team. And he had flipping Xavi. Although he helped to really make them and improve them, but we all knew that with or without Guardiola, Messi was always going to end up being one of the best players in the world. Because people that saw him back in flipping 2006, at that World Cup in 06, knew that, okay, this guy was always destined to be great. So are you now saying Pulisic is Messi? Are you saying Willian is Messi? Are you saying Pedro is Messi? Are we saying Jorginho is Busquets? Is that how we are? Guys, come on. All right. I wasn't expecting this. I really wasn't expecting this. I didn't see this happening. Because I always thought he would end his career at Bayern Munich. That's what I thought. Now, is Hummels still relevant in 2019? I'm not sure. Although he did improve defensively towards the end of the season, his partner in crime, who he won the World Cup with, Boateng, is no longer relevant anymore. That is a fact. But I think, Hummels going back to Dortmund, I think this makes Dortmund look very interesting. And I know a lot of you now are insulting Hummels, saying that Hummels is a loser, he's irrelevant. I watched some of those Bayern games. It isn't the 2014 Hummels. Guys, Hummels can still defend. Boateng is done. Boateng is in the Brick Academy, and I'm sorry to say that Boateng is going to remain in the Brick Academy until he retires from football. That's just a fact. But I think in Hummels, not at his peak anymore, but for Dortmund, I think this is a really good signing. Because what prevented... Wait, let me just get this. So correct me if I'm wrong. So weren't Dortmund like 9 or 10 points ahead, and they lost? Like, I think that, I mean, is this that what? I think they were 9 or 10 points ahead, and they still managed to lose the league. And one of the reasons why Dortmund lost the league, I think the prime reason was defensive mistakes. Defensive mistakes. That was the prime reason in which the loss was the defensive mistakes. So I think in Hummels coming in, who I think is a better defender than the defenders they have, and is older and more experienced, I think that is definitely going to help the team. Again, it's not prime Boateng. You know, I think right now Boateng at his best is tier three. At its best is tier three. I don't think he can be anything more than tier three. So, but still, you know what? You have to just admire what Dortmund have done this summer. Getting Torgan Hazard, getting Julian Brandt, and now having an experienced defender, they have bought well. Well, we have to see what Bayern Munich do, but they have bought well. So I think in Hummels, I think it's I think I didn't say comment, but it's I think it's the right move. I think it's the right move because um, Dortmund definitely want to put things right from last season. I think Dortmund have a very exciting team. You know, I already mentioned the guys they've bought. Royce is still there. Sancho, one of my favorite players, is still there, and who knows who they'll still get on. I think if they can get another top tier defender to accompany Hummels, Dortmund are looking high. I think Dortmund will be looking at if they can get another top tier dude to accompany them. But yeah, but now my thing is this: do you think Lewandowski goes back to Dortmund? You know, or no? So do you think Lewandowski goes back to that? Would be, now that's really crazy. If Lewandowski said, "Hey, screw it, let's go back," that would be pretty crazy indeed. So last 15 minutes or so, um, let me get into the chat room and see what you guys are saying. So remember, guys, look, man, if you need if you want something to be read 100% and you don't want me to miss your question, if you have a burning question, you don't want me to miss it, use the super chat. And the super chat helps support this channel, helps to support your boy, and I'll be able to give you a shout out and I'll be able to respond to your thing fully soon. So, let's see what you guys are saying, man. Boateng's career wasn't ended by Messi in 2015. See, that is just a falsity. People keep using that. No, it wasn't ended by that. Yes, it was bad. Yes, it made Boateng look really, really bad. But no, it wasn't ended by that. Boateng just got old. He just got old. So, and that's pretty much what happened. What else are you guys saying? I'm interested to see Houghton Odoi. Yes, I mean, yes, Chelsea's transfer ban is bad, but having Houghton Odoi and Pulisic on two wings, two bona fide wingers, I think that's exciting. Two good young bona fide wingers who can hit the byline. I think that's great in and of itself. Pele is not. I think I can call Pele the GOAT. I'm gonna drop my Maradona doc review, and when I drop it, you'll definitely see how the media makes Pele the GOAT. And I think the reason why people don't want to view Maradona the GOAT is because of the whole cocaine and the whole drug use. But when you actually watch the documentary, you see the reasonings for him using those drugs, and it makes sense. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. And I think the people that are most endearing are the people who are imperfect, but they rise above their imperfections and they're able to reconcile their imperfections. You're not interesting if your life is, everything's well and rosy, you do the right things, you do all the right things all the time. Then that's not interesting. What's really interesting is you start well, you fall down, you make mistakes, but you accept the mistakes that you make and you now rise up and become better. That is what being a human being truly is about, man. What are you guys saying? Okay, look, the thing about Cruyff is this, Zach, and I think people talking about Cruyff. I don't know if people have read the Total Football book that the Dutchman. I think Cruyff was one of the people that wrote that Total for Football book. I think about Cruyff is I don't call him as one of the greatest players ever. He was a very good player, but I think Cruyff's mind and what he brought into the game tactically, psychologically is huge. And this is actually what I learned like a bit years after the fact. Tiki Taka wasn't invented by Guardiola. It was invented by Cruyff. Guardiola just refined it and sprinkled it and did a few things. But Guardiola's teaching and his tactics was 100% from Cruyff, because when you read the Cruyff's book, the two main facets was about pressing and passing of the ball. No dribbling, no taking shots. The way that we score and we create chances is by the usage of passing the ball. It's perfecting the art of passing the ball. That's what those Dutch guys were about. And when it was not about having the ball, it's about pressing. The whole pressing thing wasn't invented by Guardiola. It was invented by the Dutch team from the 70s. So that's a little thing that I learned afterwards, man. So what are you guys saying? Koulibaly. Now, if Liverpool gets, I think Matip has been pretty good. I think Matip and Van Dijk have been pretty good. But if Koulibaly is available, 1,000% Liverpool should definitely go for him, because a back two of Koulibaly and Van Dijk would be flipping imperious. That'd be amazing. And if you have Gomez if you also have Gomez as an understanding, I think that's great. But Liverpool don't need Koulibaly. I think Gomez can come up to be one of the best. Gomez is one of the best young defenders in the world, 100%. He's one of the best young defenders in the world. And I think Matip has improved vastly. That's what Liverpool need. Liverpool just needs to just increase their squad. The only first team player they need is a number 10. So Koulibaly is not really a need. See, United need a Koulibaly. Barcelona need a Koulibaly. Whereas I don't think Liverpool do. Undombele, look, Tottenham gets Undombele. I think that would be a great signing. That would be a great signing. How much would it help them? I don't know. Is it what Tottenham need the most? I would like Tottenham to get. Now, does Undombele play wide or centrally? Because I think what Tottenham need is, you have Son on one flank. I definitely think they need another good flank player. Because in Harry Kane, obviously you've got a starter, Lucas Moura, you've got an attacking midfielder. Eriksen probably is going to be leaving. So, central midfield, box to box. Okay, yeah. I mean, I think I think Undombele coming in relieves the pressure of what you expect from a Sissoko, because I think Tottenham have suffered from Sissoko again busting through from midfield. Oh my god! And I have to now do something in the final third. So obviously, Undombele can now take that responsibility of carrying the ball from midfield, and he's therefore a lot better in the final third than Sissoko is. Because again, if you had Ndombele in that position when Liverpool played Tottenham, when it was Sissoko with Van Dijk and it was like a one-on-one, I think Ndombele probably does a lot better in that situaciones. What are you guys saying? If Igalo starts for Nigeria, I'm not sure that I can watch the Nations Cup. And shout out to all those Nigerians insulting me online and everything, calling me unpatriotic and everything. I'm like, I couldn't really give a damn. I'll keep saying what I'm saying. Lakers, for me, Anthony Davis and LeBron isn't enough for the Lakers to win the title next season. I think it's a great signing. Getting Davis is a great signing. Them, if it's only two of them and a bunch of bricks around them, they're not going to win a title. If they're going to get a third tier 2 player, I think it'll be a wrap. I think it'll be a wrap. But it's all dependent on the third wheel that they're able to get. Yeah, no. Cameroon. I don't think Cameroon are going to retain the Nations Cup. I think it was a great win for them. I thought Egypt were going to beat them in that final, but I really, really would want them to go far. Because I like Seedorf, and I believe Seedorf and Clevis are still the managers, and yeah, I'd want them to do well, man. Why not, man? So Maradona is not a fifth of the player that Pele is. Look, the thing about Maradona is this, and this is what I've always said about Maradona. Maradona was, how people talk about this whole Messi Cristiano thing. Oh, Messi Cristiano, consider Messi Cristiano. Maradona is the best of both Cristiano and Messi. Maradona has Messi's talents and he has Cristiano's psychology and mentality. What Cristiano lacks is Messi's natural talent. What Messi lacks is Cristiano's winning mentality. Maradona had both of those things. I told you, I will do the review. The review is going to drop. It's probably going to drop maybe tomorrow because obviously I'm going to watch this Colombia game. But watching, just viewing that documentary, it just cemented to me that yes, taking everything into account, this is the greatest footballer of all time. This is the greatest footballer of all time. And I think it's not on Netflix, guys. It's in the cinema. The thing is in the cinema. Remember, guys, so last few minutes, man, if you desperately want something read out, use the super chats. Use the super chats. The super chats, I will 100% be able to see your comments and I'll be able to respond, man. Joshua. Well, look, man, Joshua needs. He has to beat Ruiz. I mean, if Joshua doesn't beat Ruiz in the rematch, his boxing career is done. So that's it. It's all about that Ruiz fight. Like, if he can beat Ruiz, reclaim his belt, then he's back in the game. But I think it's the heavyweight division is super exciting now. It is super amazingly exciting now. So I just think that it's definitely just really opened everything up. Obi Mikel. I'm not sure whether I heard it right. I hope maybe I did hear it right, but I swear I heard Obi Mikel say that it's the Chinese Super League is the hardest league he's played in, and the Chinese Super League is harder than the Premier League. Again, I don't want to sell forces, but I believe that's what he said. Maybe I need to check it out, man. Yeah, do you know how I was really big on Eriksen and I was really talking big about Christian Eriksen? Now I'm saying to myself, like, is Eriksen really that good? That's what I'm saying. Is Eriksen really that good? I think as someone said, I think tier 3 is the best you can hope for Eriksen. So guys, look, man, Friday it all goes down, man. Friday it all goes down. The Egyptian icon kicks things off. It's, as I said again, Nigeria have to win that trophy. Our only hope is through Chukwueze and your boy. Who else? Your boy Chukwueze and your boy flipping Iwobi. Those are our two main things, man. So I'm excited for the Nations Cup. I always love it. I saw the Nations Cup personally for me it's personally connected to me just because of what it means, because of the nation of Africa. So that's a personal close thing to me, the flipping African Nations Cup. So I love it in that way. Super chats from Nassim Foreign, man. Thank you for the 199 super chats, Mr. Nassim Foreign, who says, Uncle Moo managing a national team. Thoughts? This is what I've always said. I always believed that Mourinho would manage Portugal. That was my view. Bro, Santos is doing a stellar job. Uncle Mo ain't managing the Portuguese team anytime soon because Santos is doing an amazing job. And Portugal, I feel, are going to be a big, huge threat at the Euros. So I would have always loved to see Mourinho for Portugal. And I think it would be wrong for Mourinho to manage another national team before Portugal. But if that has to happen, I think the only team that would work for Mourinho is Italy. I think Mourinho and Italy, I think that would be a perfect match. And if question, has any manager won the Champions League and the World Cup as a manager? Why do I think that I should know this? Did Beckenbauer win the European Cup as a manager? Quick fact check. I'm trying to think. Has a manager ever won the Champions League stroke European Cup and the World Cup as a manager? I just want to ask that. Has anyone actually been able to win those things, man? Oh, Del Bosque. Oh, okay, Del Bosque. Okay. So Kononon, super chat from your boy Kononon, who said Igalo and Obi Mikel to win Nigeria the African Cup. Bro, Kononon, put it like this. If Igalo and Obi Mikel lead Nigeria to Nations Cup victory, I will put out a video specifically apologizing to them. I'll say I will put out a full-on 100% quadruple space apology to both Igalo and Obi Mikel if they go ahead and lead them to the FIFA Nations Cup. Bro, this is all from me, man. Neymar, sign for Real Madrid and let us have the greatest El Clasico of all time. Guys, it's been swell. I'll probably see you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Peace out, stay true. Let's stay real. Peace.